When the president of the Board of Aldermen, Louis Reed, can't show up, apparently he sends Michelle WItthaus.
Yeah, what a good idea, right?
Yeah. Michelle is with Incarnate Word Foundation.
Yes.
And we were going to talk to Louis Reed today about the STL Youth program here in St. Louis. He joined us last year, late in, I think it was like May or June.
Yeah, and then the program just took off after the interview.
Right, it really did. We received so many calls after that.
Really?
Yeah, we received a ton of calls at the foundation. So yeah,
No, really, get
it worked.
No.
Well, Michelle, I'm glad you could make it in.
Yeah.
And how does the Incarnate Word Foundation work with STL Youth program?
So STL Youth Jobs is really a collaborative of several organizations. The City of St. Louis, so the mayor is a big supporter, Louis Reed is a big supporter, and Comptroller Darlene Green are also big supporters. MERS Goodwill administers the program, and Incarnate Word Foundation does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. We do the fundraising, we run the steering committee, and some of the oversight
Are you a
for
nun?
the program.
That's so nice.
Are you a nun?
No, I am not. I am not.
An undercover nun.
That's what Catholics in St. Louis ask every woman they meet. Are you a nun?
Well, you know what? Tell us what the program actually is and does again.
Yeah, so the program provides youth employment for young people ages 16 to 23.
That's fantastic. How do you get those jobs?
So that's the good
Joy,
question.
I'm sorry, you're too old.
So young people apply online. We actually just opened up our application process last week. So any young person living in 10 neighborhoods in St. Louis, so in, I'll list those, but for any young people that are listening, in North St. Louis, we work with youth from Baden, Walnut Park East and West, O'Fallon Park, Penrose, and Mark Twain. And young people in South St. Louis that are in Tower Grove East, Bevo, Dutchtown, or Gravois Park can apply online at www.stlyouthjobs.org or mersgoodwill.org, which is MERS Goodwill.
But now,
That's
key
great.
to the success of this program is the participation of local businesses, correct? How did they get involved?
So that's a really huge thing. When we started the program, we looked at really one main thing, and that's transportation is a huge barrier for a lot of our youth. It's hard for them to get to work, especially if they're in an area with without a lot of bus service.
Sure.
So initially, we started looking for employers that are in the neighborhoods that we choose youth from. And that has worked really well because then the youth, they feel a bigger connection to their neighborhood, and then it's easy for them to get back and forth to work. But what we've really started looking at over the last year and a half are how do we provide better opportunities for our young people and get them into environments they may not otherwise be exposed to. So we've started forming some corporate partnerships and placing our young people in those type of environments.
So what does that mean? You get them a job with a cab company?
Yeah. Well, we had a couple young people placed at Monsanto last year. We
And
had
then how
some
do they
at Brown
get there?
Shoe.
Like, do you have to have some liaison company come in?
Well, when we look for corporations, we do look for ones that are along bus routes or Metrolink stops. But Monsanto came to us last year and wanted to employ some of our youth. What we had to do is we had to make sure that the youth that were placed there for the summer had vehicles.
Okay.
So we did. I think we had 4 young people placed there last year, and
wonderful.
they all had their own transportation, so that was not a problem.
The 4-step, I don't know what else to call them, but the 4-step program that you have is fascinating. That it looks like it's been very well worked out over time. It's not just getting jobs. It's getting the right jobs. It's getting these kids in jobs that they're interested in by learning more about them and making sure the companies understand that.
One of the things we do, we provide job readiness training for all of our young people before they go to their work site. And it goes over some soft skills, essential skills, and then some etiquette on how to act in the workplace. But we also pair each of our young people with a job coach. And the job coach liaisons between the employer and the young person, if they have any issues or questions on how to deal with something in the workplace. And that's really one of the biggest pieces to our success.
Really, that I would think, because a lot of kids have a lot of potential and they don't know how to get from here to there. And having a person that they can talk to is just makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
Do they help
Right.
them? Do they put a resume or anything together?
Right. Towards the end of the program, they start looking at what's their exit strategy, right? So are they going to be looking for another job after the program ends? Are they going to be transitioning into higher ed? And the job coach is there to really support that.
And I'm sorry, did you say the job is in the summer and ends at school, or also maybe continues and part-time through school, or how does that work?
Well, it's really an 8-week program.
Okay.
Some youth might, depending on what the job site needs, they may start a week or two later than the other young people. So it could go into August or September, but most of it is really June through July.
And here's something to consider. $2,200, as little as $2,200 creates one youth job in St. Louis.
That's just
it could
wonderful.
change a kid's future.
Yeah, really.
Go to www.stlyouthjob.org.
Yes.
Got it right?
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
The really interesting thing about that is that research has shown that a disconnected youth, and that's a young person who
Costs a lot more.
Yeah, is not in a job, or is not working, is not in school, costs the average taxpayer throughout their lifetime $225,000.
Wow.
So that's 100 times more than what it costs us to get them into a job. So really, this is an opportunity not just for the young people, but really for society as a whole.
There you go. And a holistic approach is always the best. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much. And thanks to Clayton's Bakery and Deli in De Pere, offering fresh-made baked goods using recipes from St. Louis's earliest history. And the deli portion of the bakery serves hearty sandwiches made with the finest meats and cheeses and fresh baked bread right from the bakery, 11,744 Manchester Road in De Pere.